Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome to Deep Rock Galactic, or welcome back anyway. I have done videos about this game on the channel in the past, but I realized something today. I just was curious and went to look those up, and it turns out that was like 4 years ago, or going on 4 years ago. And this game is still around, it's still popular, my friends and I are still playing it because it is that good of a time. So I figured, you know what, it's worth another look. A lot of things have changed, probably a lot of people don't know about it. So this is Deep Rock Galactic, a game in which you play dwarves, space dwarves, part of a space mining company, exploiting the natural resources of this planet out here, Hoxxes IV. Crust damage, the mining company may or may not be responsible for. Who's to say, really? Out here in space, no one can hear you apply the damage of late-stage capitalism to an environment. So yeah, this is our space rig, our massive satellite from which we launch missions and stuff. This is a big game. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of little screens. There's a lot of tools and toys. There are 4 classes, each with like a couple dozen weapons all told. And it's just like, it's a lot. I'm not going to try to explain it to you all right away. We're going to start by just going on a mission with this character, the gunner, who I've dressed up as sort of a cross between a frog and a tank, I guess. We have a great big minigun. We have some other weapons that I'll introduce as we use them in the mission. And as you can see at the bottom of the screen there, the mission we're going on is a simple mining expedition. We have to find and collect 225 morkite. That is a particular kind of blue mineral. I'll show it to you when we get down there. And in the meantime, we'll be doing all kinds of space dwarf stuff. The kind of stuff you would expect a space dwarf to do. Mine, there'll probably be some drinking involved. There might be some drinking. Shooting giant space bugs with a minigun, of course, critically important. In procedurally generated cave systems. And one of the things that really makes this game stand out from the other cooperative shooters of our era, for me, is how good the procedural map generation is. You really get a lot of very different feeling environments.
This is a simple mining deposit your quota of morkite into the mule. We will send a drop pod to get you out. Good luck.
You can see here we are in this this radioactive exclusion area, so there are about a bunch of crystals giving off a lot of very active radiation. In the top right, you can see we are supposed to be collecting alien fossils as well as morkite. It's a secondary mission. It's not necessary, but we may as well. It's in a kind of an awkward spot. Let me see if we can scale this wall. All right, you know what? We'll employ some technology here. So, 4 different classes of dwarves. Every class has access to different weapons and also a different mobility tool. The mobility tool for the gunner is this zipline launcher. We are going to use to grab this thing off the wall. Ow. And then I guess we may as well actually ride the zipline up to the top. Let's see what's up there. Another thing that I think is really great about this game is the way that it uses light and shadow. The environments are so moody, and while the enemies are not like overly scary, unless you have arachnophobia, in which case this might not be a great video for you, because basically all of the enemies are some kind of spider. The lighting on them really does make them feel like proper horror villains. And we have some, we have an infinitely recharging stock of these glow sticks, but you can only have so many out at a time. They don't recharge super fast. You can see our supply down in the lower right. So for right now, let's just dig ourselves out of this cavern. We have this terrain scanner here, 3D representation of the areas that we've seen and the areas directly around us. And we are on the lookout for morkite. Do not step in the giant webs. Okay, that's just some gold. I'm going to be largely ignoring gold. It's not worthless. It's just I have so many hours in this game that I've basically purchased everything you might spend money on. So I really have played like truly a tremendous amount of Deep Rock Galactic. Okay, more fossils. This here is any kind of plant life that you can collect is basically just for brewing different beers back at the base. That is going to be a little bit of a pain to get to. I could try digging myself like a little shelf here to make the jump from. All terrain is more or less fully destructible. However, different types of terrain have different hardness, require a different number of strikes with the pickaxe. And we are in a biome here, this radioactive zone, that has particularly hard rock. One problem at a time here. Oh, I don't like how this is going already. Okay, yeah, so like I said, I might go down occasionally. I will say I'm quite unfamiliar with this loadout, so let me back up a step here. Get us in a nice narrow hallway where I can take advantage of having a huge stream of bullets coming out of the front of my character. So you can see lots of different enemy types. Whew. That Praetorian emits a huge amount of radiation for a while after it dies, so we're just gonna let that dissipate. Yeah, there are various types of melee enemies. Some enemies will spit poison at you. Some enemies are tiny and have very little health, but will show up in swarms, Pretty basic enemy differentiation stuff in a video game. Ugh, I'm having a heck of a time getting myself up into this, second seat here. There we go. I think this will be high enough. I just need to clear the rock away from... Yeah, there we go. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so, important kinds of mineral to be familiar with. This here is red sugar. Touching red sugar heals you. There we go. We'll dislodge a bunch of that. You can see we have a slowly recovering shield in addition to our health bar in the lower left. Can I get ourselves a little bit more sugar? So the minigun. You can dump a lot of ammo out of the minigun very, very quickly, as you saw in that last encounter. Ooh, this stuff's important here. Nitro, we're going to make sure to get a lot of this. The minigun is not terribly accurate when you begin firing it. But the cone of fire narrows as you continue to hold the button down, so it gets accurate eventually. And when stuff's really close to you, it doesn't so much matter if it's accurate, right?
Brace yourselves for impact.
Okay.
Detected a massive swarm on collision course.
Let's try to find a spot. I guess this is fine. Just a place to play a little bit of defense. I'm going to grab some minerals real quick while we're waiting. Okay, we have several spikes of red sugar around here to help restore. And we're going to try to use the tools available to our class a little bit better here. So in addition to our gun, our big gun, we do have some grenades. I have our grenades specialized to... basically, the grenade I'm carrying is like a spike that you throw into the ground or wall, and then it just emits a cloud of bullets kind of all over the place. I can hear them. I can hear the spider roars in the distance. Which side are they coming from? Really love it if I could get a flare to just stick around and not roll down the hill. Gotta make sure those spitters go down fast. Those are a high priority. Got them both? Okay. We also have this thing, this burst fire gun that I have adapted into a mine layer. You can see I can lay down a little field of electro mines that both slow and damage the enemies around us. Let's try out that grenade. Wow, that is a lot of bullets. Holy hell, that thing really lets loose. It will absolutely do damage to me, so I do have to be careful. Oh, vision. Oh, vision. Alright. So... we got a little bit lucky here. All the enemies are kind of coming from the same direction. That'll slow down the group. Yeah. Not too hard to deal with. We can use our pickaxe as a melee weapon. Every few seconds, you can see the cooldown for it filling there on the right. I have access to a power attack, which on this difficulty will kill a normal bug straight up from full health if you just hit him in the face with it. Okay. So. Oh, what the hell? There's a cave leech. There's a couple cave leeches in here, I think. So. We have a couple of friends. They didn't send us down into the caves alone. This is Bosco, our robot drone companion. Generally useful for fighting and mining, and he's basically like a second smaller flying dwarf. This here is Molly the mule. We have limited carrying capacity. Molly has infinite carrying capacity. We're going to be doing a lot of bringing stuff back to Molly. I'm not going to be able to mine that. Hey, Bosco. Can you help me out? When you're playing with multiple actual players, you got to solve problems among the players. When you're playing solo, you get this little Bosco drone who can do some things like mine deposits that are too far away for you. He can also like project light. Sometimes with certain kinds of objects, he can bring back a distant object and fly it over to you. Not everything, unfortunately. He is very bad at this job because I don't have him specialized for it. But that's fine. We just needed to collect some nitra. So nitra is one of the most important kinds of materials we can collect down in the cave. Nitra is what we use to buy additional ammunition from the company. Because, of course, we do have to pay for our ammunition. Okay, that wall of dirt seems like if we just dig kind of downward here. So for every 80 nitra, we can purchase a resupply pod from the company that carries an awful lot of extra bullets, and we are going to need one fairly soon. Ammo counter on my minigun here is showing a little bit low. I'm going to try to be careful with it. This stuff right here, this blue stuff, this is the morkite that we're after. So Molly, if you could step out of the way. The minelets do contact damage, like just shooting the bugs directly is perfectly reasonable. Just trying to make sure that we are preserving the ammo in the minigun. Alright, let's get some morkite here. How much do we need? 225? Well, that's a start. This here is a loot bug, so named because they crawl around and they eat minerals. Which is to say that if you open them, there's minerals inside. Other than that, they're like perfectly harmless creatures, and yeah, it does feel bad. It does feel a little bit bad to kill them, and the dwarves have plenty of lines about that. Alright. Spitball infectors are big stationary creatures that spit these huge wads of poison at you. I'm going to throw this thing out and then back up. Try to get around the corner. Ugh. I don't have a lot of experience with the lead burster when I play Gunner, and Gunner is my most played class by a huge margin, to be clear. I tend to be playing quite a different loadout than this, but you know, part of what I'm doing here is I intend to show y'all all of the weapons and stuff. So Bosco's got him. Alright, we are out of minigun bullets. Pretty bad spot to be in. Hey, Bosco, you want to help me out here a little bit? Aha! Okay. It's a little bit off the ground, but we can work with it. So I'm just going to hop up on Molly here, and we don't need all that much nitra for our first drop. This is definitely going to be sufficient. Oh, I fell off the mule. There we go.
If I had a credit for every time I deposited,
okay.
I would be a rich dwarf.
Also, fossil. Also, there's a fossil over here. It looks like there might be stuff up there. I'm going to launch another one of these zip lines. So we're going to get the fossil. There we go. You have to, you can't grab fossils while you're on the zip line because the grab button on the zip line is mapped to reverse your direction on the zip line instead. Hi, could you get out of my way? I try not to kill the innocent wildlife, but sometimes... Okay, no, there's like a little ledge up here, but there's not actually anything of value. Never mind. Hold on, can I get over to that? Kind of.
Die, worthless crystal.
See, it is nice to be able to just like burrow into ledges, create yourself, or burrow into walls, create ledges, that sort of thing. All right, if we're gonna be fighting a swarm here, we gotta call in that supply pod. Let's put down one of these. So the supply pod's gonna come down with 4 resupply charges on it. Each charge will refill half of the ammo for each of my weapons. I'm going to use this thing as cover against the lead burster grenade. Ugh, these little bugs are so not worth my bullets. Let's head over here. Okay, things are getting a little intense. So here's another thing that's special about the gunner. Every class also has a unique sort of combat utility device. The gunner's is this deployable shield, which is absolutely bananas and hugely the most powerful thing in the game. So that spike up there should clear some of these enemies out. Just grab a little bit of sugar as we head backwards here. We have a limited number of charges of the shield, but we just resupplied and everything, and we know there's a whole lot more charges waiting. This big bug here, this one that I'm mostly just running from, is completely invincible from the front. In case you were wondering why I'm doing a lot of running instead of a lot of murdering. Alright, let's lay down a little minefield here. The mine damage is sufficient to just kill the swarmers. You can see them splattering from it. Alright, so that'll get us alone, us and him, real fast. Oh, never mind, he's actually dead. Alright. I was holding off on showing this because, you know, we had a lot to talk about. But in the next big wave, we're gonna take a pet. There is a sort of a pet system in this game, kind of. That'll make things a little bit easier. But there you go. See, we're looking hale and hearty already, and there's still 2 ammo charges left on that thing. In addition to the ammo, each charge gives you a whole bunch of HP, so we're in real good position. Do these get activated by the loot bugs? They don't. Bosco, could you please? My bullets are valuable. Thank you. So yeah, loot bugs contain some amount of nitra, some amount of gold. Hey, that's a bunch of morkite. What else is up here? Alright. We'll have Bosco work on that. There was a cave leech. You gotta be careful. There's a lot of kinds of hazards in these caves, and I sort of like reflexively blew the cave leech up. I have equipped a perk. We haven't even talked about the perk system yet, but that's a whole thing. I have equipped a perk that allows me to detonate enemies that grab me a certain number of times per mission. And there are grabby enemies. Alright, we're just going to hang from this zip line and mine a bunch of this morkite out. Sort of inconveniently placed for grabbing it any other way. Although I suppose at this point we've sort of made a shelf out of it there. Let me go all the way up top here and grab this barley bulb. Like I said, you know, beer. Let's see, can I fit in this little alcove? Yeah, okay, cool. This seems like quite a lot of morkite. Yeah, there's a decent amount anyway.
Donkey, come here.
Alright, Bosco knocked down all of this. We're already doing pretty well on our next drop.
I want to punch the guy in R&D who programmed Molly.
And I think we're ready to leave this chamber. Some packed dirt pretty much always leads to something real close on the other side. You know what? I am nowhere near full ammo. Let's take one more hit from the pod before we leave.
Getting supplies.
So the game features a pretty standard, you know, if you go down, you're not out, your teammates can pick you up kind of system in multiplayer. In single player, you get a limited number of extra lives. Bosco can revive you a certain number of times. You can see the little green bars underneath Bosco's portrait in the lower left indicating how many more times he will get me back up before the company considers the mission a lost cause. This is perhaps not an optimal approach. I don't really know that they thought that through. The bugs are not the greatest tacticians. Alright, I think we just need to keep digging in this general direction. Yeah, here we go. So, the Praetorians have a lot of armor on their face, and a big glowing weak point on their backside. You can peel the armor away on the sides to expand the ease of hitting the weak point. But also, it's worth noting, all bugs are weak sort of like in their mouth. If you just shoot directly into the mouth parts. Nobody likes a bullet in the internal parts. I worked that one out myself. Alright, so we got some more Morkite here. And this is going about the way these normally go so far.
Depositing minerals.
Alright, more than halfway done. Even more starch nuts. A wall that can look at you. It's just kind of how things are down here sometimes. I hear the sounds of bugs dying. I don't know what would be killing them. Bosco's right here with me. Those acid spitters have actually kind of a surprising amount of health, but they also they die very quickly to weak point shots. Again, just sort of basically to the mouth. I think it may be that bugs are getting too close to the radiation crystals and dying that way. You can see there's a bunch of loot bug drops around here, which is almost certainly, yeah, they're getting damaged by the crystals. Oh, there's a Morkite underneath that. How badly do I want that?
Swarm incoming. Get through it fast.
Well, alright, hold on a sec. I actually don't love this location. Can we maybe get out of here?
Got a zip line ready here.
Ollie, sit down.
Sometimes I wonder if mining is all there is to life.
The swarm is upon you.
Yeah, I'm not wild about this. I want to get back up. Don't just want the enemies crawling down at us forever. Alright. It feels like the ideal use for that is in a place where, you know, you can't see where it lands. Oh, not quite. Alright, hey you. Alright, so we are able to tame one of the bugs to our side. That bug is invariably named Steve. All friendly glyphids are named Steve. And he'll just run around and, you know, do combat, attract attention from the other bugs. I grabbed one of these sharp-looking ones, a slasher, because they have higher damage output than the other bugs, but of course they are not the most survivable. And, you know, for the most part, the shooting is not like rocket science, right? Like, The big bugs have green glowy parts on them. Shoot them in the green glowy parts. That's where the weak point is. That's where you get the massive damage. It looks like he's fighting a Praetorian over here. I'm just going to try to... Yeah, he didn't survive that. Trying to make sure I'm actually using the ammo in my burst fire gun here. There we go. Okay, I think we're pretty much clear as soon as the wave of radiation wears off. So there is another fossil in this room. I would love to get that. And I do want the... Hey.
Spreader did its last dump.
Those septic spreaders will shoot just like big puddles of radioactive ooze. Very bad times. Okay, cool. Alright, I think we can get this. The trick with these crystals is you can break them if you're willing to undergo a little bit of radiation poisoning. I'm going to do something a little aggressive here. Wow, that did not break as much as I was hoping it would. We have plenty of nitro. We can... There we go. We have plenty of nitro. We can just buy more bullets. Alright, so we'll take this zip line up slightly to the other zip line that we can hang from to actually mine this stuff out. Explosive weapons, of course, are much better for reshaping crystals and terrain and stuff. Sadly, we don't really have traditional explosives in this loadout. Okay, another 30 Morkite. Certainly worth something. And then let us once again take this up here, do the transfer, and we will continue on our way. Yeah, 100 nitra in the bank, so we are set to drop down a new ammo bay as soon as we want. We want to be careful, of course, because they're not mobile, and... I'm hearing bug noises, and I think they're probably from beyond the dirt. Either that, or I've been driven to, you know, space madness by all this time out here, alone, with the spiders and the robots. In space. Could happen to anyone. Grab another one of these. And you know, all these walls that are constantly watching me, these can't be great for my sanity. Path of bifurcates. There's some kind of large chamber down this way. Let's go down here and we'll grab some of this nitra. Oh, I think I destroyed an eyeball with my, well, hopefully the cave isn't upset about that. Hey, Molly. Could you come over here and support me? Ah! One thing that is for sure... Ow. I fell off the ledge and died to fall damage. One thing that is for sure a bummer about the minigun is the spin-up time. Like, it's really not a great right now weapon. It's a great... I realized I was going to be in trouble in 10 seconds kind of weapon, for sure. Alright, see this here, this grunt guard. This is the kind of bug I would prefer to take as a pet, generally. They're very, very tough and they still do good damage. But unfortunately, our pet cooldown skill was not off cooldown until just after it died. So we'll take a new pet as soon as we see one of those. Ugh. Very annoying. Alright, let's just drive the bullets directly into its face. It's something. So this gun does carry its full supply of ammo in a single magazine. There's no reloading, but you may sometimes have to give it a little cooldown time. It does overheat. So I saw there's another Morkite deposit there. There's one right there. We can barely see through the dark. It's like in the ceiling of that part of the chamber, so I'm gonna have Bosco work on that. I don't know how far we are from mission completion, but I don't think it's all that far, actually. Yeah, because here's another deposit. Here's another... All right, we can get that for sure.
I got the deposit.
Let's get Molly down here. Honestly, I said this has been about normal. This has been maybe a little calmer than normal.
Glad I ain't the one to sort this stuff later.
So we're actually probably... No, we're not going to get there quite off of this deposit. Let's grab this Morkite that fell on the ground. But we are still missing... Did I just like run right off of you without jumping? I sure did.
The scanner just lit up like a Christmas tree.
Almost. Alright.
I ordered a resupply.
Supply pod launched.
In that case, I will simply use the thing. Alright. So these little indicators on the wall tell us that there is a treasure buried in that wall, and that is a problem we are totally going to interface with in the near future. Alright. Let's grab one of those fancy bugs as a pet. Function as a distraction and a secondary source of damage. Or tertiary, I guess, because, you know, Bosco's real. Alright, little lull in the action. Let's grab some ammo. So we have another one of those oppressors coming in, the ones that are completely invincible from the front. I would love to get a flank on it, but it's got to get distracted. Nope. Okay, it has this little stompy attack that churns up the ground and makes everything a nightmare. But the good news is it also does damage the other bugs nearby. Okay. Our support crew managed to finish the thing off, which is nice. Just continue throwing some of these down. Oh, that is so many little bugs. Holy hell. Hey, what about a grenade? And we're beneath where it'll be shooting. Okay, yeah. Steve and Bosco are doing some excellent work here. I'm very finely attuned to the sound of that acid spit. The second that thing missed a shot, even though the shot was like behind us and we didn't see it, I knew exactly where it was. Okay, so these are like little pearls indicating that there's going to be an Enor pearl. Great big one buried in this wall somewhere. There we go. Hey, Molly.
Rock seriously need to invest in some better equipment.
I am too lazy to walk all the way over there. How do you put it in the Molly when it's larger than any of the apertures? This is a question that's not like super valuable to us to ask, is it? Okay, so that's enough Morkite to finish the mission right there. But, you know, we may as well get one more fossil, right? How am I doing on ammo? I'm actually pretty okay. Let's just, let's forge onward just a bit. Actually, you know what? Let me have Bosco go up and go into light mode here. Are there any fossils that we're missing in this chamber? It sure doesn't look like it. Okay, that's fine.
Stay by my side, Bosco.
So there are lots of other kinds of minerals that you have seen here in the caves, like umanite and whatnot. These minerals are for between mission upgrade purposes. You know, the guns all have... first of all, they cost resources to buy. Secondly, they cost resources to improve. They have tech trees and and perks of their own. And there's lots of things to spend resources on in this game and lots of resources to spend on them. Okay, so we've accomplished all of our goals. I'm going to call the mule back here, and we're going to hit the mission complete button. Come on, you.
Good work. Sending in the drop pod.
And then we may as well top off here. Alright, so Molly's got all of the valuable mission resources in her, and we need to escort her back to the escape drop pod. This is the standard ending of most missions. Okay, we can see that it's coming in
The mule has been called back.
way up there somewhere.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
Oh, Molly is headed right toward it. Unfortunately, Molly can just walk up walls and stuff, so you can't always trust her to show you the way, because sometimes she will show you a way that you can't go. Recovering Molly is, of course, the company's top priority. She's invincible. The drop pod's invincible. It's all pretty straightforward. They will also recover you, so long as you make it, not like a huge expensive boondoggle to do so. Let's just try to be there when the thing happens, shall we? Where are we going? A little turned around here. Okay, I see. The dirt that we dug through is up here somewhere.
Drop pod departing in
That's a tiny bit steep. Must you? Alright, we're gonna kill him and then we're gonna run through real fast before his corpse starts emitting radiation. And then we're gonna throw one of these shields down and take a healing hit off of the old supply pod. Oh no, wait, sorry. The exit to this room is not in the top of the room. It's in the bottom here. Molly does leave behind these lovely okay, that's not the most helpful thing you could have done. That's right. I forgot that we dug through the roof of this room. And hey, that is the supply can, or the escape can. We just gotta find the side that the door is on.
initiating launch sequence.
All right, there we go. We even get to go home. So yeah, that's a mission. That's a honestly pretty calm mission, which is good because it's not my usual gunner loadout. Like I said, I want to show off all of the weapons and stuff. And here's a little friend we brought home with us. There are so many unlockable armor pieces and color schemes and animations, and the game is just huge. It is so much huge. So here's all of the things we earned. None of it really means anything. Don't worry about all this stuff. Just UIs and unlockables and bars filling. And yeah, that's the basic idea. We're at, what, 36, 38 minutes here? Let's do one more. Let's do one more mission. So my current assignment has to do with promoting one of my other classes. Why don't we see about starting that up? Ooh, okay. Well, yeah, let's go for it. So you can see this mission is of the salvage operation type. We have to salvage some mules, recover some lost company equipment. This is in a different biome, the glacial strata, and this one has a modifier. Yellow modifiers are positive. They make the mission either easier or more rewarding. Red modifiers make things much more difficult, and this one is a total nightmare. It just completely removes your shield for the whole mission. We're going to try it. We can handle this.
Sequence initiated. Board the drop pod.
That is definitely one of the more difficulty modifiers. We're gonna take a buff here. So this here is the bar robot, who definitely has a name as well. I do not remember what it is. There's a special beer at the top of the menu that will give you some kind of buff that rotates every so often. Pickaxe power attack recharges faster is a fantastic buff.
Hard hitting. Slayer stout, please.
especially if you are worried about enemies being all up in your face all of the time, which I absolutely am. All right, and then we're just going to throw this in the launch tube for good luck. And also, these barrels can go in the launch tube. That's more luck. That's what luck looks like. Yeah, you know what? We could use a little bit. Everybody knows that the more garbage you shoot into space, the easier the mission's going to be. Okay, so this is going to be just like the last one, except the environment's going to be less friendly, and we're not going to have any shields whatsoever. We can still deploy the gunner's temporary combat shield, and we're going to. We're going to do so a bunch. And my plan here is to basically just like have a different loadout for every mission or every episode. So we'll continue using these weapons for this one, and then when you come back next time, we'll be doing a whole different thing. The crackling, the lightning effects you're going to see in the air are indicative of the shield disruption.
Get ready to rumble!
I don't know why that means there would be lightning in the air, but that's what it means.
Previous crew lost their mini-mules, their drop pod, and their lives in this cave. Find and repair the lost mules, get the drop pod operational, and return to base. Expect heavy infestation, and try not to mess it up like your former colleagues.
What is going on up there? It's just a bunch of... Hey, Bosco, would you go light that? Oh, I see. Okay. The packed dirt is up there, but also there's some red sugar giving off a weird amount of light. And also some nitra tucked under this snowbank here. So yeah, in addition to the... obviously, the aesthetics of the areas being different environments do have they pose different environmental challenges, and they even have different environmental enemies. Like, we won't see any of those radioactive Praetorians in this area because those are unique to the radioactive biome. But we will see Praetorians who are adapted to this area and who shoot frost and emit a cloud of cold when they die, and so on. And we're going to have to manage our temperature a little bit. But okay. This is a pretty valuable initial chamber. Ow. Right, we have no shield at all to absorb any amount of falling damage, so going to take a lot of falling damage. The good news is, on shield disrupted missions, I believe there is a lot more red sugar in the environment, so we'll just keep an eye out for that.
Where is that damn tin can?
All right, so what we are looking for right now mostly is the site of... Boy, there are bugs right on the other side of that wall.
Down the hatch!
The site of the last team. Oh, yep, see, we can see their pod on the map there. And we're going to try to recover as much of their equipment as we can. Flying electric jellyfish. Gross. Alright, there are some natural sources of heat in the environment. That scream you just heard is one of those things. Those are grabber bugs. They will grab you and just like fly off. Fly you up into a high area somewhere and then drop you. It is a terrible time for sure, but you know, fortunately I am allowed to, because of that perk that I take, we are able to just blow up a couple of them every mission to prevent them from doing that thing they want to do. If you don't have that perk, you know, you're reliant on your teammates. You can free each other with violence in a way common to all co-op shooters since Left 4 Dead. And I'd be surprised if we ever see another one of these types of games that doesn't have those kinds of features. Okay, so these here are the mini-mules. Unfortunately, they are no longer operational. Their legs are all busted off, so we're going to have to fix that. Bosco, can you open up some of these loot bugs? We could use materials. And there's a bunch of nitro over there that I'm going to have him grab as well.
Bosco, line it.
Wait, did you not? Please finish it. I think he reloaded. There we go. That'll kill that.
Bosco, come here.
Oh, these flying bugs are not great for my loadout. Alright, I have an idea. I'm going to throw one of those grenades out there. There we go, and just let it radiate bullets into the air. That got it. So, we need to find in the environment some legs nearby. Fortunately, they have great big white lights on them. Pretty easy to pick out in the darkness. And just keep attaching legs until the thing is motile again. Acid spitters behind us somewhere. Okay. Maybe if the bugs could fucking cool it for a second. Have ourselves a look around. There's a big chunk of gold over on the ice over there that we probably ought to grab. I don't really need money, but there's a lot of gold in these chunks of gold. Ah, there's a spitball infector over there. We have a nice covered position to shoot at it from. Now, spitball infectors are a pretty high danger to most classes. They're actually really, really easy to kill safely with the minigun gunner because you can shoot their projectile out of the air. And with just the cloud of bullets that you are always emitting in the direction of your enemy, that's almost certain to happen just kind of accidentally, like for free. For a lot of other classes, though, they're very dangerous. They deal a lot of damage very quickly, and they have quite a bit of health if you're not hitting the weak point. Okay, that's one of those rollers. Probably ought to prioritize that in a second here. Ow. One thing you may be noticing, one thing you may be noticing from time to time is that the bullets coming out of the minigun have a chance to stun enemies. Okay, we dealt with most of them, but unfortunately, we're not going to naturally recover any health here. I need a source of HP. We're just getting worn down by the environment. We got enough legs to this mini mule. Let's get this out of here. Bosco's got like the one bug that was behind us.
Mule powering up. Good work.
We do have the ability to drop a supply canister, and obviously I could get a lot of health back from that. I would prefer to save those for a little bit later in the mission. Okay, so here's some legs. We can move these. Alright, we need one more, and you can see there's one up there. Just the amount of light that's coming through the crystal here. There must be a leg on the other side of that crystal. Two of them, in fact. Okay. How is that? Are you going to get him? I think Bosco's got him under control. I have my Bosco specialized to electrocute enemies. Oh, that's bad news. Let's preemptive shield here. And you know what? We're going to throw one of those grenades out. These Mactera Tri-Jaws are so named because they shoot like the spread gun from Contra. Which is to say they're highly likely to hit you. And they're pretty damaging. All right. What I want to do right now is locate the other team's canister. It's down there. Okay. So we want to go like this way. And it looks like there'll be a depression. We don't want to step into that cloud of freezing gas. Nope, I managed to turn myself exactly the wrong way. Cave leech grabbed me. Okay, here we go. I'm a little turned around. Okay, we are facing the correct direction. We just need to get downward some, which it looks like the terrain over here will provide ample opportunity for. We will continue to grab valuable minerals on the way. We're not in a huge hurry. It's not an emergency. As soon as you have... Oh, interesting. As soon as you've repaired the mini mules, you can hit the button on Molly, and Molly will wind her way over to the escape can for you, and you can just follow her. But I don't want to do that just yet for reasons that will probably become obvious in a little bit. So forgive my stubbornness here as I try to find it myself. We gotta go that way. Yeah, okay. Is there a snowdrift? There's a snowdrift. It's like way over there. So you take dramatically reduced fall damage, maybe even no fall damage at all if you land on a snowdrift. We don't really have one available. And also, I'm out of zip lines. I'm going to try to make it... Ow, broke my legs. It's fine. Okay, we're going to call in our supply drop right here near this thing. Hey, Molly. We actually don't have to wait for Molly. If we're near this thing, we're going to be using this thing to get back home so we can store our minerals in this as well. All right.
Getting more ammo.
Let's just... Do I need to take both hits? I probably don't need to take both hits right away. All right. And let's use this opportunity to sort of build up our little base position here, get some more ammo. The thing is, we're going to need a bunch more fossils if we want to get out of here with full mission completion value. If we just tell Molly that her part of the mission is done, she will climb into the drop pod, and we will lose access to her for the rest of the mission. And I think we need to go back into that big chamber and spend some more time in there. And if we do so without Molly, our ability to gather minerals is going to be severely curtailed. Oh, this is so many acid spitters. Get him. Yeah. This sucks. I hate these things. Okay, so yeah, let's just get out of here. Actually, you know what? I am going to take another hit because each pull we take from here is only replenishing half of our lost zip lines. And I do actually want to go back to full zip lines.
Zip line up.
There we go. That'll get us back out to that outer chamber because it doesn't look like there's very many fossils in here. This thing with their escape pod being in this separate sort of weird locked off area is interesting. And again, it's just sort of like you get very different maps every time you play this game. So like a big part of what I dig here is the navigation around the environmental challenges that you're always doing. Making sure you're getting all of your resources for value, or maybe just because it has been programmed into you that getting more resources is more good.
Zip line ready.
Yeah, it's gonna be zipline expensive to finish off these fossils, probably.
Here I come.
So I'm jumping off of the zipline, grabbing the fossil, and then turning around and grabbing the zipline again, if it's not clear what the move is there. You just gotta make sure you do it with some degree of precision, because obviously if you miss one of those E presses, you're going to feel either silly or dead, depending on which one it was that you missed. They emit a little bit of light in the darkness, but not as much as I would like. Another thing we can be looking for is packed dirt type passageways like that.
Zipline done. Light it up.
Because those might have additional easy to reach
Come here.
things inside of them, since they'll be little hallways. There will be less distance between you and the roof, so the fossils can't be in a hard to get place. Right now I have 5 in total. Okay, there we go.
Come here, you flying tin can.
The dwarves are relentlessly mean to their robotic companions.
Deep Rock seriously need to invest in some better equipment.
Which I personally do not support. Alright, so we have 6 total. We're still really far off. Oh, there's one. See, they hide them in places that make them really easy to miss if you're not, like, backtracking through your tunnels and stuff. And again, all of the positions are fully procedural. It's not like the dev team being sneaky. It's just you have to be thorough. Where is this even taking me? I think it was low enough that I could hit it with my pickaxe. And you get infinite pickaxings. It's a good way to save ammo. Okay, cool. Ah, here's a couple more. Here's a couple more. So you can see we're very cold in the snowstorm. These natural steam vents will in fact not just fight the cold, but actually actively warm us up. If your cold meter does fill all the way up, you freeze solid for a few seconds, which of course makes it a lot easier for the bugs to get at you. Ah, okay. It's good to be warm again. Come on, short. Okay.
Where is that den?
Molly, will you please help me? Alright. Teamwork.
When I'm done working for DRG, I'm starting my own blood.
Secondary objective completed. Now finish the job.
Okay, I feel pretty good about that. We have 200 nitra, so we have... Whoa. Don't usually see shellbacks just walking around. And we don't need these anymore, but whatever. Oh, and then this tunnel comes out right at the... Huh.
Molly,
Interesting. So yeah, we have half of an unused supply drop here. So that's full ammo for all of our guns and a full health pool. And we have enough nitra for 2 more drops. I'm feeling pretty good about our position. But this is where the mission gets difficult. So, once we have fixed all the mini mules and linked them to our mule, who they will just follow around constantly, we send our mule home. The old drop pod picks everybody up.
First, establishing a proper connection between the pod and the space rig.
And at this point, this thing becomes important. This is their navigational equipment, basically. We fix this up. This will broadcast a signal back home that lets the space rig know where we are with some degree of operational precision, so that they can send us a fuel pod to refuel the thing.
Initiated. Do not leave the triangulation zone or we will lose the connection. We only got one shot at this.
Yep, so we got to stay in the green area until the green bar fills up. Obviously, gunners are pretty good at this thing because you can, if you get overwhelmed a little bit, you can just throw down your shield and stand inside of it for a while.
Triangulation at 50%.
You are becoming Steve. Welcome to the team. Oh, I got spitted. So you'll notice whenever I kill an enemy with a melee attack, I get a little bit of health back. That is also a perk thing. I find that it ends up being a meaningful amount of health on some missions, at least.
75%, almost there.
Basically, like, the harder the mission is, the more likely I'm using it. So I'm not too stressed about some enemies getting right up in our face. Minefield's paying off. We gotta remember we have that dramatically reduced cooldown on our power attack, so we may as well use it.
Reestablished. Stand by, sending in fresh fuel cells for the drop pod.
I'm doing my best to hit them in the front parts. About to overheat here, so... Okay, fuel pod's coming in up there.
Fuel cells have arrived.
All right, I don't love that. We're gonna maybe do something about that. So what's up next is another event that works the same as the one we just did, where we have to stay near the fuel pod. Up here on this cliffside feels very dangerous. Uh-oh. Big bug stomp? Nope. Okay, Steve killed it. I was gonna run around and try to shoot it from the back, but the way it was standing, its butt was sort of embedded in the ground. Yeah, we're just gonna Management made a decision. I think they made the wrong one. We're gonna modify it somewhat. Ow. Okay. Let's probably go ahead and use at least one of these. May as well drop a new pod as well, kind of in range of where this is going to be. And now we have to connect this fuel line to the fuel port on the pod, on our escape pod, which is there. What's that stomping noise? That stomping noise is another one of these rollers that's just walking around. Okay. Anyway, the fuel pod. So we'll just connect this up to here.
Charge cable plugged in. Prep the fuel cells for charge sequence.
Alright, and then we just have to stay close to the fuel thing so that it remains authorized and pumping. And once the pod here is refueled, then we use it to escape, right? Easy, simple plan. And of course, the way you would do that is by hitting it with a hammer over and over again. Sort of goes without saying. Alright, the enemies can be doing the same thing here. Yeah, alright, let's just... These mines don't have a super long duration, like they don't stay alive for very long. So I don't want to do too much pre-laying, but we're definitely getting value out of having them down before the problems begin.
The smell, it lingers.
Oh, it's so many bugs. It's so many bugs. Something hit me from behind. Wonder if it was a ranged attack.
Fuel cells at 75%. You're almost there.
Or maybe it was something that Bosco killed right as it hit me. Alright, the way we are positioned here, if they get a little aggressive on us... New Steve, welcome back. The old Steve kind of tore himself up fighting that big bug. We could just throw down a shield and then within the shield use one of these to refill our health, so... Feeling very secure. The gunner is like definitely the class that I feel most secure with on defense. It's very difficult to die with the gunner like suddenly. As long as you have that reflex of switching to the shield and throwing one down at your feet. Oh, we're out of bullets. Okay. Alright, well the pod is refueled and powering up and we just need to let it do that. Let's go ahead and completely refill. Alright, which side is the door on? I want to be around... Okay, here we go.
Powering radiation shielding.
Shield charged and ready.
God, look at how many bullets it takes to kill a single bug. Like this weapon is so good against large groups and so weird against single enemies. Unless they're really, really close to you. Nope, it's starting to roll. So you see you can strip some of the armor off of it, and then obviously shooting any of the soft unarmored parts does a lot of extra damage. Ooh, okay. And yeah, I don't know if you caught the timer there before we got in, but 60 seconds. That's how long they'll wait, and then they're retrieving their property, whether you're inside of it or not. But hey, that one went pretty smoothly, right? We hardly died at all. And honestly, for a mission with shield disruption, you can see it's added an extra 30% to all of our reward values. Yeah, for a mission with shield disruption, that went actually very smoothly. Perhaps we should be playing all of these on Hazard 5. That will definitely cause us to see the "you failed" screen at some number of times. All right.
Job done. Keep at it and you'll make it through.
We'll promote that driller in no time. I think that is enough for the sort of a basic grasp of the game. That's how Deep Rock Galactic works. You mine minerals, you shoot bugs, and then you do those two things again. It's a lot of those two things over and over again. So it's a good thing they've made those things pretty fun. It's with good environments, good maneuvering, and lots of ways to kill enemies. When you come back next time, we'll be checking out a different class, some different mission types, and just more of what the planet Hoxxes has to offer. And we'll see you then.